Hi, girls, and welcome back to Self Care Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as black girls. I'm BB, and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. So, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I apologize because today's episode is going to be this week's episode is going to be kind of on the shorter side because I didn't really know how to write my notes out for this episode besides the three main points that I wanted to cover in this episode. So this may be a shorter one and I apologize, but we'll get back to our regularly scheduled lengths after this one. So this week's episode, without any further ado, is about celebrating your accomplishments. This is a very important thing that a lot of people take for granted because of what others have led them to believe that, oh, it's selfish, yada yada yada, all that foolishness that I'll get to later on in this episode. But it's important to do it. You don't put it off or not do it because of what other people say. So let's hop into the things that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode about why it's important to celebrate your accomplishments is because it tells your story. Nobody except you and maybe the few other people that may have actually come along with you along this journey to accomplish whatever it is you've accomplished. Nobody knows what you've been through, and even those people don't fully understand the mental state or the physical state, or I don't know, even small things like your eating habits and your sleep schedule that you had to go through to get to where you are now, which is all the more reason to celebrate. There are many could have been were probably, I apologize for that, were probably a lot of trials and tribulations that you had to go through that put you in the place that you are today, and nobody but you and God or whoever you worship understands that. So you have to celebrate for you. Nobody else is gonna, like, I keep repeating this, but it's true, nobody else is gonna understand what you've gone through. So you have to make sure that you have to show yourself that you're proud of yourself. In other words, make sure that you understand that what you've done as far as how your life is going is a big accomplishment. And it doesn't always have to be big accomplishments like a job promotion or you moving. It can be something as small as I don't know, passing a test in a class that you've been working really hard for and finishing a big project. Just make sure that what you're doing, how you're celebrating fits the accomplishment. Like, don't plan an out of the country trip because you passed the test that you studied really hard on. You know what don't blow it out of proportion. But maybe go get your favorite ice cream or watch your favorite movie or take a day off or something like that. Something small to celebrate, something like just passing a test, or just make sure, kind of like the punishment fitting the crime. Make sure the celebration fits the accomplishment. And if you're going to bring people along to celebrate, make sure they at least hear the things that you've gone through, to so to let them know that you went through a lot to get to where you are. Tell them your story. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is another reason to celebrate. Wow. Another reason to celebrate its accomplishments is because it shows the product of consistency and sacrifice. And I touched on this a little while ago about the trials and tribulations that you've gone through, but showing your accomplishment obviously wasn't a little jog over a speed bump. That was a terrible analogy, but you get what I'm saying. It wasn't, you didn't get there with the hop, skip, and the jump. You had to pull some long nights. You had to pull some early mornings. You had to give up going out with your friends, skipping a new movie that just came out, passing up trips and stuff like that, and you had to stay consistent with what you were doing. You couldn't, oh well, I'll work on it today and then I'll not do anything or do something else tomorrow. You probably didn't do it, especially for like bigger accomplishments like buying a house or something like that. You probably did not do things like that. You had to give up a lot of your free time, a lot of your extracurricular activities that you would usually do if you weren't trying to do something like this. And you need to celebrate that, because now that you've accomplished it, you can look back at all those things that you gave up, like the movies and the trips and the parties, and you can sit there like, wow, like I actually, A, first of all, you actually gave that stuff up, and B, you got whatever the task was done, you accomplished it. And now, depending on what it is, you're in a better position than where you were before. Now, I understand with things like a house, you've got other stuff that you've got to deal with that come along with buying a house, but I'm not there yet, so I don't fully understand that. Which goes back to the point that I made earlier, that you need to, let the people know what you're going, keep it as, don't give out every little detail, but, give them a pretty good idea of the things that you've gone through, and sacrificed, and how you were consistent with everything that you were doing. If you plan to save this amount of money out of every check, that you did that, and then you didn't pinch off of it the whole time. Like, you saved it and you didn't touch it. Let them see what consistency and sacrifice will get them if they just try. Another thing, before I get to the final topic that I wanted to talk about, is not letting other people get to you about like what they're saying. Like I said, during your journey, it's gonna be a rough one. People are gonna be talking. People are gonna be like, "Oh, well, you're not gonna get there. I don't know why you're doing all of this. It's not gonna help." Don't let that get to you. And then when you go to celebrate, don't let them get to you like, "Oh, I knew you could do it," or "I don't understand why you need to celebrate because you knew you could do it." Just ignore that. That's the negativity. Go listen to the past episode I had about keeping negative vibes out of your life. Go listen to that episode. Get rid of it. Which leads perfectly into the last thing that I wanted to touch on. And it's not letting, it's to reward yourself. My mind is all over the place right now. It's to reward yourself, which is the whole topic of this episode, is celebrating your accomplishments. Celebrate it. You did this, no matter how big or small. You did it. You need to reward yourself for that. It's like a mentality, or you could look at it like you training a dog or something. You teach the dog to do something, and they do it, and they get a reward. And now every time they do it, they're gonna get a reward. You gotta train your mind that each time you accomplish something, that you gotta celebrate it. This does not mean go out and spend money. You do not need to spend money every time you accomplish something. Maybe cook your favorite dinner, or watch a movie, or like I said, take a day off. Treat yourself with an extra long nap. Go to bed early. Do your full on pamper skincare routine, pamper shower routine, hair routine. Do something to make you feel good and feel proud of whatever you just accomplished, because I promise you, no matter how big or small it is, getting something big off of your to-do list, whether it's a daily to-do list or a lifelong goal, getting it off of that to-do list is a relief, and you need to reward yourself. And I don't do that, but I need to start doing it, because I guess that will motivate me, and that's another thing. It'll motivate you to knock some more stuff off of your to-do list once you get back to the position where you can do it. So, reward yourself. Don't consistently work and not A, take a break, and B, reward yourself for all the hard work that you've done, all the hard work that you've put into this, whatever this project is. So yeah. Thank you all for listening. This episode actually turned out a lot longer, like way longer than I thought it was going to be. I had a lot more to say than I thought, but thank you all for listening. I do have two quick announcements. Don't forget to check out my shop, my online shop. I currently have earrings and bundle packs where you can get earrings, a lip gloss, and a sweet treat. I believe that's what comes in it. You can purchase the stuff on brennan'sboutique.bigcartel.com. That's BRENNANS boutique.bigcartel.com. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at selfcareblackgirls. I have a lot of posts, updates about things going on there that you don't want to miss. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. I will see you all next week, and don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments. Bye. Thanks for listening this week. If you have any questions, want to share a story, or be featured in our Q&As, send them to me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com or submit them on my blog at selfcareblackgirls.com. While you're over there, subscribe and join so you never miss anything. Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes to help spread the word. You can also donate one time or monthly by clicking on the Patreon link on my blog. There are rewards. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to stay beautiful.